Okay. My phone's telling me to rotate my phone, so here I am. So welcome to this live on how to control your anger. So one of the members in the group asked this question in one of his posts. First of all, before anything else, excuse the lighting. It definitely needs to improve for the next live. And I'd like to thank you for being in this group. I'd like to thank you for showing up towards your mindfulness. Mindfulness is an extremely powerful experience, and with everything going on in our world at the moment, it's a key part of what we need from my experience, working with many people who have had anxiety problems or just train of thoughts that they can't get rid of, or depression, or many circumstances. Mindfulness at the end of the day really supports you to enjoy life, to enjoy everyday moments, and to feel freedom inside. Ultimately, everyone truly wants to feel freedom. So, let's start with the topic. So, how to control your anger. So my first words are going to be, we don't control the anger. What we do is we regulate the anger. We get to understand the anger. Any emotion in our body is showing us something. Emotion, they say, is energy and movement, and I truly believe this, and I feel that every emotion wants to show us something. And anger is very powerful. Now, what's happened is, since we were children and through generations, we've been told to, no, you can't get angry, anger's bad, etc. So we've been repressing it many times, and no one's shown us how to deal with anger and what it's really there for. And so over years, what happens, it can come out in ways that we feel that it's uncontrollable. And it can really get people down. And I've been there, so that's why I can share this. That's why I feel, through my experience, I can truly share this with you all. Now, I've had my past, and I have a lot of fire in me, so anger is normal to appear in fiery people. And so it's learning how to channel this energy, okay? But that we can do in another video. For today, we're going to focus very much on how to handle yourself when anger comes up, and you can sense that it can be hurting someone else, it can be hurting yourself. So first of all, understand that anger arises from some thoughts. So the first thing is, very, very first thing to do when you're starting to feel anger is notice that you are angry. Just become aware of your anger, okay? That's step number one. Become aware of your anger. Secondly, decide whether, when you become aware of that anger, if you want to stay in that situation or separate yourself from what's creating the anger at that moment, and give yourself some space to actually connect with the thoughts that are happening for you, okay? Because while you're in touch with what's triggering that anger at that moment, which normally and most of the time, I dare to say nearly 100% of the time, is actually not about that situation. It's about what's going on inside you, okay? So you take responsibility of your own emotion. No one ever makes us feel some way. We feel the way we feel. It's no one else's fault. It's how we react or respond to something that's external to us, okay? So take some time to connect with the thoughts. What do I mean by this? So, for example, you're living with someone and they want you to get up early. And it's their thing about getting up early. It's got nothing to do with you, and you want to lie in. and they're nagging and nagging. Come on, let's get up. And you're like, no, I want to rest. It gets to a point where you can start to get angry. Why does this happen? Because in your mind, there are some thoughts which are, you're not respecting me. You're not listening. For example, if I were to think of this example. So, what are the needs I need to be listened to? If that person cannot do it, that's when you put limits. And you say, look, it's very important at the moment that you leave me to be, go and get on with your things, and you respect what you need. That's one example, but there are many, okay? So in those thoughts, what happens is there's a value of freedom and there's a value of respect inside of me. If someone pushes my boundaries and my limits in terms of my values, I will feel angry. So anger, the majority of the time, arises from a clash of values. Okay, so it's about understanding your values. What are your values? What are your values? Connect with your values. Lots of us don't even know what our values are. But anger is a great teacher to teach us, or to show us rather, what our values are. So I'm very grateful for that emotion, this emotion in itself. And sometimes, if we haven't had that value respected for many years, so this is where the healing part comes in, okay? Because that person is just triggering a little bit. But the reason why, when we get really angry over something that actually for many people can be something quite small, and go, whoa, that was a big reaction to something that in my perspective is nothing. That's when you can look into where is it really coming from. Apart from your values, it's also coming from a past experience. So just close your eyes, take yourself back to that time. When did I first feel not respected? When did I first feel unheard? When did I first feel whatever it is that comes up? And you may find that you're 5 years old, or you're 6 years old, or you're 10 years old, or 14, or 20, or 30. And that's where self-compassion comes into play. It's so important to heal these moments, because otherwise they will interrupt many of our relationships, our moments of relating with other people. And when anger stops us in that sense, all it's doing is it wants us to connect with that moment in time that requires healing, or requires a limit, or requires self-respect. And also, very important, which is your inner coherence. As in, am I truly listening to myself? Because if we're not listening to ourselves, who are we being in the world? So to connect with our true authenticity, we need to know ourselves consciously. And through this possibility of working with our anger, we get to know ourselves better, and we get to expand, we get to grow as human beings. So I'm going to leave it here, because that's a lot of information so far. If there's anything in your life, any situation, particular situation, that's really troubling you, attempt these steps. If by any chance you find it really difficult, please connect with me. I provide one-to-one sessions on Skype, and if there's another platform that you prefer, we can look into that. And we can work on this together, okay? For your freedom, for your happiness, and for your expansion, for your growth as a person. Because when we're not growing, we're dying. And as we're here to live for the life that we have, how about let's live? Lots and lots of love to all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.